What's up, guys? Shoddy MD here. Long time since I've done a big video, but I really needed to talk about the new Epiphone releases, specifically their Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom shop guitars that are now selling for $1,300 minimum. I think some are as high as like $1,600 or $1,700. It's crazy. And I just want to talk about it because I was one of the people that bought into these. I bought a $1,300 Epiphone. This is my Joe Bonamassa Epiphone ES335. It's a great guitar, and one of my most popular videos shows why I think the price is justified on these considering the specs. However, now that I've owned this guitar a while and some time has passed, I don't think these are a good value anymore at $1,300, and I just thought I would share my own experience of buying and owning one of these. Now, as guitars themselves, these are amazing. I stand by everything I said about the guitar in terms of the quality, the sound. It feels great, it looks great. I don't have any issues with the guitar itself. And I still think for the specs you're getting, Gibson burst bucket pickups in this one, you get custom buckers in the new ones, CTS pots, mallet capacitors, one-piece necks, all these fancy upgrades. You could still justify the $1,300 price if you factor in what those upgrades cost. However, even though the specs might justify the cost, the market demand does not. What I mean by that is, this guitar is only about 2 years old now or so, mint condition. I'm trying to free up some space, get some more funds for newer guitars, and I tried to sell this on the used market. And literally, it's just been sitting unsold. No one wants to buy this. The highest offer I've gotten is like $600, I think. No one wants to pay more than $700 for this guitar, even in mint condition. So it's very clear these do not hold their value as well as I thought they would. Even on reverb, these guitars are not selling for more than $850, and when you factor in reverb fees, you're making even less off these. So these Epiphones are depreciating hard. I walked into my local guitar center even, and I literally saw this $1,300 Bonamassa Epiphone ES335. I saw the $1,300 Kirk Hammett Flying V, and I saw the $1,300 Alex Lifeson signature Les Paul with the Floyd Rose. All were sitting on the shelves unsold for an incredibly long amount of time. This one, they wouldn't even let me trade this in or take it because they couldn't sell the first one. And the Kirk Hammett V and the Alex Lifeson Les Paul were literally sitting on a discount because they couldn't move those guitars. So it's very clear, even if the specs might justify the price, the customers do not want this, and the market demand reflects that. People are not buying these at that price. Now, if you just love the guitar and you're going to buy it and hold on to it forever, this is really irrelevant because, okay, fine, you spend a few hundred extra, whatever, you'll enjoy it and play it. And these are good guitars. But if you are the type of person who sees yourself potentially selling this guitar anytime in the future, and let's be honest, that's like 90% of us, you either find something you want more later on, or you don't bond with the guitar and you decide to trade it in or sell it, or maybe you just need the cash and you gotta sell off a few things. But either way, if you end up selling this guitar, you will take a massive hit. These are $1,300 Epiphones, but again, most people will not pay more than $700 or $800 for these. So I would highly recommend waiting a few months, even wait a year. Once these guitars saturate the used market, pick one up used at a significant discount. You will save a lot more money. And I think these guitars are a very good value at that price because they are really good guitars. The other issue I have with buying one right now, brand new, is this guitar, again, is not even 2-3 years old. It's pretty new, but at the time they said this is the latest and greatest. It's got burst bucket pickups, all these upgrades. I didn't think it would get better than this. Not even within 2-3 years of me buying this, they upgraded the headstock. So this old Epiphone headstock is gone. Now it's a Gibson shaped headstock, and they replaced the burst buckers with custom bucker pickups, which are generally more desired. And now my guitar seems more inferior and has devalued even further on the used market because the new ones have these upgrades. And this is probably not relevant for you because you didn't buy this, but something tells me, Epiphone has this trend of every single year now releasing something new with some upgrades. And I just have a feeling that if you buy one of the current inspired by Gibson custom shop guitars, they might seem like the best thing ever right now, but literally not even a year or two from now, they're probably going to release something with some major upgrades that's going to make the current one seem much more inferior and much less desired and kill their value on the used market. An example of that might be, I could potentially see them getting rid of Indian Laurel, which this Bonamassa and the current Epiphone guitars have, and replacing with proper rosewood in a year or two. I could totally see them doing that to justify selling more of these later on. And I'm pretty sure if you're someone who spent $1,300 on the inspired by Gibson custom shop 59 Les Paul with the Indian Laurel fretboard, you'd be pretty pissed if literally next year they released the same thing with rosewood at the same price. And that's kind of what's happened to me with this guitar, and I just noticed this with Gibson and Epiphone both. You know, they literally say, this is the best thing, shell over your money, this is like the best thing you can buy, and it's totally worth it. And you know, I get every few years you gotta add upgrades, you gotta make these guitars desirable to sell it to future customers, but I feel like not even within a year of like one release, they release something new and they say it's better, and they instantly devalue the guitar they just sold to you not too long before. So for these reasons, I just don't feel like these current inspired by Gibson custom shop guitars are a worthy buy anymore. I will not be buying one. In fact, I'm trying to sell off mine. My Epiphone Adam Jones, similar situation. I got the graphic series, you know, with the painting on the back. Now these seem inferior because it's got the old headstock. It doesn't have a custom bucker like the current Adam Jones Epiphone Les Paul. No one wants to buy these anymore. And again, this isn't even 2 years old, I think. The other big issue, actually, now that I'm talking about it, is these guitars feel really good to play, but they still feel like Epiphones. Like, I own a couple of Gibsons. These are still polyurethane finish. They're not nitro like a Gibson. And the fret ends have no fret nibs, so you can still feel some like fret ends. You know, they're pretty good fretwork, but you can still feel the edges. So at the end of the day, these still feel like Epiphone guitars. They do not feel like Gibsons. They might sound like them with the Gibson pickups, and they are great guitars, but they do not feel like a Gibson, but you're paying Gibson prices. And personally, I think you're better off just buying a used secondhand lower end Gibson with the nitro finish and the fret nibs, and that's going to hold its value much better and give you a much more authentic playing experience, as cheesy as that sounds. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the new Epiphone. Let me know what you think about these new guitars. Are you really interested in buying one? Are you going to hold off? I just figured I would share my experience because I have a lot of experience with these higher end Epiphones, having owned two, and personally, I would not recommend buying one, at least not brand new.